Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
A warm welcome to the fifth edition of Friends of Elephant in Assam. We are thrilled to have you all here for this important event where we will be discussing elephants in communities, a crucial topic that highlights the relationship between human and this magnificent creature. This event is uh, is committed to raising awareness and fostering solutions for peaceful coexistence between elephant and local communities. Before we dive into today's discussion, let me take a moment to introduce Friends of Elephant. Friends of Elephants is not an organization and is not proposing to become one. It
Prachaya,
is
can you
an
just put the relevant slide? I think your slide is somewhere else. First slide. You can make it full screen also, the presentation.
I think you should click it on slide share and then you go to the first slide. Yeah, and then click on slide share.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, the next
You
slide. You have to make it full screen. Slide share, the third button on the right bottom. Yeah.
Is it full screen now?
Not it. It's not. You can also do slideshow. There is an option there on the. You can see the slideshow option, right?
Yeah.
yeah, great.
Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So before we dive into today's discussion, let me take a moment to introduce Friends of Elephant. So Friends of Elephants is not an organization and it is not proposing to become one. It is an informal group of people coming together with varied expertise concerned about elephants and other wildlife. This group is a forum for disseminating knowledge linked to elephants and other wildlife science, conservation, and welfare through art, culture, literature, movies, and talks and panel discussions. We have been conducting these events as offline events since April 2014 and from 2020 as online events. Our expectation is that people who have attended our event formally or informally participate or help in developing appropriate conservation and welfare measures for wildlife, including elephants. Today, we will begin um, uh, Today we will begin with a talk by Mr. Rubul Tanti on ecological and community-based approaches to mitigate human-elephant conflict in eastern Assam, India. This will provide a valuable insight onto how ecological solution and community participation can help address this pressing issue. Following that, we will have a conversation on communities and elephants, where Mr. Vedic Gupta will be in discussion with Mr. Rubul Tanti. This session will further explore the challenges and solutions from a broader perspective. Finally, we will open the floor for a question and answer session moderated by Priyanka Bora. Before starting the session, I want to introduce myself. So I'm Prachaya Sarma, currently pursuing a master's in environmental biology and wildlife sciences at Cotton University, Assam. My interests lie in avian biology, community engagement, sustainability, conflict mitigation, and urban ecology. My research primarily focuses on ant diversity along with projects on birds, elephants, and other wildlife. I am also interning with the Elephant Division at Aaranyak, contributing to conservation efforts and human wildlife conflict mitigation. I am given this opportunity to introduce this event, and I'm delighted to do so. With that, let's begin our session firstly by introducing Mr. Rubul Tanti, who will be giving a talk on ecological and community-based approaches to mitigate human elephant conflict in eastern Assam, India. It is an absolute honor to introduce today's distinguished speaker, Mr. Rubil Tanti, a dedicated field researcher and biologist with over 12 years of experience in wildlife conservation and human-wildlife conflict mitigation. He is a wildlife biologist associated with Aaranyak. Currently, he is pursuing his PhD on Asian elephant distribution pattern, population, and habitat use in eastern South Bank landscape of Assam, northeast India. With that, let's begin our talk to the Mr. Rubul Tanti we deliver. Uh, Now I invite you, sir, to take over. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Prachaya. Hello, everyone. Good evening to everyone. So, first of all, I would like to thank you for to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my experiences on elephants that I'm working now presently in Upper Assam. So, I have been working on elephants for the last 7 to 8 years, and mostly on ecological works on elephants. So I have been inside reserve forest areas. Then I have started working on communities and how these communities are responsible to save this human elephant conflict, and how working with communities can help us to mitigate this. I will not actually call that it's a human elephant conflict, but it's a negative interaction that we are having recently, and it is growing day by day in our areas. As we all know that uh, this human elephant negative interactions is increasing in all parts of Assam, mostly in the lower parts of Assam, like Baksa district and Udalguri district and Gwalpara districts. Like they are having a more number of elephant deaths and also more number of human deaths per year. But in eastern Assam, the case is a little bit different. So now this is an area with emerging conflict. So the intensity of conflict is little bit less. So let's begin with my slides, and I will be sharing with you all my experiences with the communities I have worked. Is my slide visible to everyone?
Yes, Rubul, it's visible.
Okay. So as we know that we cannot directly go and talk with the elephants or ask the elephants to do these things or do these things and minimize the conflict or do certain things like management things, or you have to sit down here and there so that these negative interactions can become less. So we ultimately we have to go to the communities or the people who are residing near the forest near the forest areas and ask them or work with them uh, in order to minimize these conflicts. And really, from my experience, I will say that working with these communities, this plays a very important role, and it really helps us to understand the relationship between them, the people, and also the elephants, and it might provide insights to reduce these conflicts. So as we know that this human elephant conflict is a negative interaction, which not only brings like some effect to the elephants, also it leads to crop and property damage. Also, it leads to like some loss in the safety and security for the people. And also it seems like it's affecting the overall well-being to the people. And for us, it is also like driving biodiversity loss. And many times we can see that there are retaliatory killings of the elephants. So as we know that mitigating this human elephant conflict cannot be done by a single research scholar or a single scientist or single organizations or alone forest departments. All the stakeholders, we have to work together. So, and it needs a holistic approach to minimize these conflicts. So for the last 3-4 years, we have been working in Eastern Assam, and I'll be sharing all the works with you now in this part. So in this work, we are following the IUCN SSC guidelines, and these guidelines are been used for the first time to bring coexistence among the people with the elephants. So here what we have done, we have worked with a bottom-up approach by empowering the local communities and also giving them capacity building and also supporting to the various people with different HEC mitigation tools. So currently we are working in 16 different villages of Eastern Assam, and the districts are Majuli district, Jorhat, then we have Sibsagar, Dibrugarh, and Tinsukia district. So in Majuli, Dibrugarh, and Sibsagar and Jorhat, it's like they're having a different group or a different herd of population in the riverine areas, and the elephant herd that is found in the Dihing Patkai areas, that is a completely different population. So let us see the map. So first of all, we have to know how these elephants are distributed in the Eastern Assam. In this map, we can see that we can see the small forest patches in every district we have. In Jorhat district, we can see that that forest patches are located near the interstate border areas with Nagaland. And in the Sibsagar district, we have with the Arunachal Pradesh, and also the Dibrugarh district and Tinsukia district, we have the forest patches, that is Dihing Patkai Elephant Reserve. It's located and sharing its boundary with Arunachal Pradesh. And also we have a patch, Dibru-Soykwa National Park, in the Tinsukia and Dibrugarh districts. Also, we can see in the Lakhimpur and Dhemaji district sites, we can see that part of the forest patches also it shares with interstate borders with the Arunachal Pradesh. So here we have different herds of population, herds of elephants. So the riverine area elephants, they nearly travel only Majuli, Jorhat, Sibsagar, and a small part of Dibrugarh. In the Dihing Patkai areas, we can see this elephant shares its boundary with the interstate, and in interstate, that is Arunachal Pradesh, and also in the Tinsukia district, Sadia region, where we are currently working. So that also has a different herd. So all the herds are different, and we have to look like in a different way. All the problems are different for the elephants, or the landscape is different for them. All the forest patches are different for them. So as we know that these communities, they play a very vital role in wildlife conservation, because most of the time we have to deal with this community people only, and we have to go to the villages that are located near the forest areas, and also talk with the people and build a trust among them, so that we can work with the communities, and this way how we can find out a way to minimize these wildlife conflicts. And we have been working there, and we are trying hard to bring awareness among the communities that will help in conserving wildlife as well as mitigate this human-elephant conflict. So let us learn some of the traditional approaches that are used in Eastern Assam to mitigate this HEC. So here we can see that by building watchtower and some what we call here is tongi ghor, or some mud type areas, highland areas, these communities, they watch this kind of watchtowers, build this kind of houses just to watch elephants and guard their crop areas, and lighting fires. From the ancient times, we have seen that people used to light fires because some of the mitigations are newly adapted, but these kind of things are used from the past onwards. From decades, we can see that they have been lighting these fires. Now also they are using to light fires and chase away the elephants. Also, I have talked with many people in the villages that they are using these dogs as an early warning system. That means whenever an elephant approaches to the villages or come inside the fringe areas of the villages, the dog used to bark and the people used to get alert. But now we are convincing the people that it can be dangerous also sometimes, because whenever the dog barks at the elephant comes and directly chases the dog, and the dog always run to its owner rather than going away from the house. It always comes and run to the owner's house, and this way some accidental encounters with the elephant happens, like the elephant will come and directly break the house, or sometimes if accidentally people will come out from the house, some serious injuries can happen. And also we have seen that people make different sounds with different equipments. I have seen people using the steel plates and also some drums and different kinds of sounds the people use there to chase away the elephants. So these were some of the traditional approaches that people are usually using in our eastern Assam to mitigate or to chase away the elephants from entering the villages. Slowly, we can see that some new adaptations and new ideas came, like using torchlights. But before, they thought that they thought that by using torchlights, we can chase elephants. But this is not true, actually. I feel that only using torchlight we can see or have a view where the elephant actually is present, and we can save ourselves from having encounter with elephants. So this might be the actual reason we have told people like this. Now people are also agree to our words that this actually these torchlights are not used to chase elephants. So these are new adaptations. Like, one more thing is firecrackers. People are using firecrackers nowadays uh, to chase away the elephants. Also, I have given an image here, posted an image that shows night gathering. This area is of Majuli area, and they have light up a fire, and also nowadays they are chasing the elephants with tractor. This new thing I just learned uh, 2 to 3 years back when I visited Majuli. So now they are using the tractors to chase away the elephants, and they say that it's effective actually. We have talked with the communities, like remaining as in a safe distance, so that they also don't get injured during the night times, because uh, it's only the light of the tractors, so where we can see the elephants. Visibility is very less, and sometimes accidental encounters may happen with the people also and with the elephant also. So what we as Aaranyak, what we have done in Eastern Assam in the last 3 years, we have built a group named as Rapid Response Unit Groups that works as an early warning system to mitigate these conflicts. Also, we have tried using low-cost seasonal solar fans so that some amount of crop can be saved from getting raided by the elephants. Also, we have done biofence as a source of long-time approaches that needs a proper way. And we have done with multiple stakeholder meetings, like bringing all the departments forest department, police departments, and other people, even Gaon Pradhans and other electricity department in a single platform to talk with them and request them that this mitigating this human elephant conflict is not in one hand. This needs a multiple approaches so that this we can bring some instance of lowering this human elephant conflict. Also, we have gave them trainings and interchange our ideas with various stakeholders. So let's come to the rest. What is this rapid response unit, RRU groups? So actually, in these 16 villages in 5 districts, we have found 6 RRU groups, where actually, as you know, like we cannot go directly and approach the communities or people do like saying them do these things and that things, because people will not trust us. From they will have a doubt that who are these peoples coming and saying this and that to mitigate this human elephant conflict, because we know that these are the people who are dealing with these elephants from last 10 to 20 years, and they have the actual ideas how to deal with these elephants. So bringing up new ideas and going and convincing them is not so easy for us. First of all, it nearly takes one to 2 years to build trust among the communities, then doing some work. So it's a long time work that we should have, and long time management that we should bring up to. So what we have done here, we have approached to the communities and we have asked them to build a group who will monitor the elephant presence or elephant movement in their vicinity or in their villages, and alert the villagers about elephant presence through WhatsApp groups. Actually, it was done before also. The people used to inform the villagers about these elephants. The people who live in the Sapori areas, riverine areas, the people used to inform the other peoples in the same village through phone call, but it was not done in a systematic way. So what we did, we approached the people and we just gathered them, we formed these groups, and we just shared a WhatsApp group number where they can post about this elephant sighting and other things related to elephants, also other things related to wildlife. So now we have, initially there were few members, but now in the 16 project villages of Eastern Assam, we have more than 300 members that are working to lower this human elephant conflict. So how actually this rapid response unit functions? Formation and volunteering to form a RRU team. We do not provide any support like monetary support, or we do not provide them with a sum of money to do these things. Rather than we give them training how to like monitor these elephants and also deal with GPS and how to send out this alert to villagers. So these are self-volunteering system where they give an early message to the villagers, and after getting these messages, rapid actions are done by the villagers. So they gather at one point and they just guard their crops and increase the vigilance. So also we have asked them to inform the forest department. We are working with the communities also, and also trying to build a strong relationship with the forest department, because as we know that in Eastern Assam and most of the areas, the road structures are not so good, and even forest department cannot reach in time. But that also needs the people to understand that this kind of problem really happens in every part of Assam. So we have also asked these people, these RRU members, to inform the forest department. Here I have posted two pictures that shows us some glimpse of HEC incidents shared by the RRU members. Actually, here we can see that how they have shared the images of property damage, house damage in a group. And in this group, we also have the members of forest department. So actually they can know and come for the compensation process they can access. Also, here you can see that after sighting an elephant in the villages, how they have posted the image that these are the areas where today one elephant is seen or elephant herd is seen. So get alert in the area. Like that kind of message they usually used to post in this group. Also, the next image is of monitoring and reporting other species. We have also found in the last year when there was a flood, the RRU members have helped the forest department to rescue some hog deers and other species like bat we can see here. Even they used to rescue snakes and they used to post in these groups. So this RRU groups is not only used for giving informations about elephants, but it's also helping us to know or have information about other wildlife species also. So what we do actually, whenever a message comes in the RRU groups, the other day our team member used to go and record the GPS location of where the elephant was sighted the last evening or the last day. So here we can see that we have plotted all the sighting images of the elephant, and we can understand from this how this elephant is using the habitat and how it is moving. This is the image we can see in the this is a map of Dibrugarh district, and the black color markation is of the villages that we are working, and the red spots are of elephant sighting. The green color is of the Dihing Patkai National Park, where we can see. So how these elephants are using this human habitation area, in which date they are coming in, seasonally or it's yearly, we can know about that, on how much time they are using this habitat. This area, this map is of the area of Majuli in the riverine areas. So even we have sighting instance recorded inside the riverine areas of river Brahmaputra. Here we can see that. So through this early warning system, it has not only increased the information system to reduce the accidental encounters, like also it has been a successful model in different project villages, and now we are getting approaches from other villages also to form such groups. And in the last 1 year, it has spread into 58 other villages. The next one is lost post solar fence. So many areas we can see. I found this thing in most of the lower Assam areas. Like people usually connect this fence with domestic currents to protect their crops. Actually, they actually don't understand that this, or they are unaware of that some accident encounters may happen, like even people can die with this kind of electric shocks, or even it can bring death to an elephant. And many a times we have found that there are electrocution reports, like in the peripheral areas, that elephant has died. Even I'm sharing just one experience in eastern side area. I was there in some villages, so I just came to know that people had set some electric fences to avoid these elephants from entering the villages. But unaware of that, one people just died in the getting a shock in the electric fence. So his wife actually, she requested me to do something or give an approach to how this compensation can be made. But it was a human habitation area, totally revenue area, so nothing can be done. Also, it was a such case that their family people had put that electric fence. So sometimes this kind of situation comes where we are helpless. Like if our family people have put that kind of fences and someone from our family will die, we cannot report that to any of the forest department or also to the police department. So this kind of situation also I have seen. So we are trying to convert all these fences to low solar powered fences, and that is also for seasonally. So what we have done now, we have set up some circular fences in many districts of eastern Assam, like Majuli district we have set up. Also in the Tinsukia district, in the Sadia region, we have set up some few circular fences, and this is totally done with the help of the community people, because we only provide the equipments to them. People just volunteer their hard work to push to put this fence, and doing this they will just learn all these things, how to manage this fence. After all the work is being completed, what we do, we just hand over this fence to the communities. So thus entirely this fence belongs to the community. Also the people have to repair it if some small fault happens sometimes, because always we cannot go to that area if some there is a fault in the wire, or for some small cases we cannot go travel a long distance just to do that. If something major happens, they usually inform us, then we travel there, we just make it right. So this is also a self-volunteering process for them, for the committees. And we have seen that this actually works. And these are also seasonal. So during the crop season, they usually put up these fans, and after harvesting, they used to back up these fans and just store it in their house or somewhere in a safety place. The next year, they will again put this around. So this map I have been sharing just to describe that what kind of incident was there before we have installed the solar fences. So the white color dots we can see that are property damages, and some of the pink dots we can see that are crop damages inside the human habitation areas. And the yellow color markation is the embankment area, and the blue color indicates the villages that we are currently working at. So here we can see this red color marks this is the place where we have put our solar fence. This is the linear one, and also it describes like in which landscape what kind of fencing actually works. They have an embankment, so we have put there or installed there like a linear fence. So you can see that after putting up the fence, only one incident happened. That was also because of some faulty in the fences, where in one instance the elephant entered inside the village. So the third one is biofence. So I will just give an example of my colleague who is also working in Aaranyak. His name is Niranjan Bhuya, and he has also done this work in the Sipsagar area, Hologuri Sapori. So this has proved actually like it can be used as a fence, biofence, and it really helps if it is planted in a proper way. So many a times when we approach the community people saying that we can use this lemon fence or other plants that are thorny, they used to say us that it is not useful, because actually they have not planted it in a proper way. But in this area, I have seen that the people have just surrounded the areas, the crop where they have planted the crops. They have surrounded the whole area with three line striped zigzag way the lemon plants. And after 2-3 years, these plants have grown up to form a thorny fence-like structure that also stops the elephant. And inside that, there other vegetable or other crops are also being protected. Also, it has another benefits, like after 3-4 years, they will be getting extra amount of lemon, number of lemons, and they can sell it this to the market and get a good amount of money from that. So this is also an alternative source of livelihood. So also we have done with meetings with multi-stakeholder peoples, like also it helps in maintaining proper coordination with people. We have seen that sometimes these people from other areas, we have seen that throwing fires, crackers, and also stones to the elephants. We have seen that. So doing meetings with the police department, they can come forward and they can help us in stopping this kind of playful activity. And also it is very helpful in land use matters. So for today, I have shared my all the experience working with the communities, and I am very thankful to the organizers and also our funders like British Asian Trust and Darwin Initiative, and also like the first pillar of that one, this first pillar of like helping us to build coexistence and working in the forest areas, that is Assam Forest Department, also my project team members and Aaranyak, and a great thanks to the local communities from Eastern Assam. Without them, I don't think we have like done this kind of works, and we have really got some immense good results, like lowering up to some portion. I think this needs actually a long time process, and we have to work. We'll try hard to lower down this negative interactions in future. Thank you. I just hand it over to Prachaya. Hello,
Thank
Prachaya.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Rubul Tanti, for sharing such valuable insight on ecological and community-based approaches to mitigating human-elephant conflict. Your work and experience truly shed light on the importance of collaboration between conservation efforts and local communities. Now we move on to the next segment of our session, a conversation on community and elephants. For this, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Vedic Gupta, who will be in conversation with Mr. Rubul Tanti. Mr. Vedic Gupta currently works as an assistant program manager at Wildlife Conservation Trust, where he focuses on mitigating human-wildlife conflict through ecological and community-based approaches. With a master's degree in wildlife conservation action, they have previously worked on understanding and mitigating human-elephant conflict in Assam and Chhattisgarh. He now works closely with communities living around forest areas, addressing the social aspect of conservation to develop sustainable solution. With that, I now hand it over to Mr. Vedic Gupta and Mr. Rubul Tanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Prachaya, for the wonderful introduction. And first of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to be sitting here, listening, learning, and talking about elephants and communities. So I thank you for that again. And I would really like to congratulate Rubul sir for his wonderful and informative presentation and for briefing us about the wonderful work that he and Aaranyak has been doing in the Upper Assam region, and not just for the elephants, but on the same front, mitigating the conflict with such innovative methods and engaging and involving communities for their upliftment too. And to be honest, it really brought me back to my time when I was involved with Aaranyak and was doing the work with us in Assam with the elephants and alongside the wonderful communities there. So when you were talking about all those RRU formation meeting and the solar fencing thing, flashbacks of me being there alongside everybody, serving for the installation of the solar fences were coming to me. And to now learn from you that all those things are finally making an impact really moved me. So it was really a lovely part of my life. And thank you so much and congratulations once again, Rubul sir, for your lovely presentation. Also, I would like to really appreciate and congratulate Aaranyak for their exemplary work that they have been doing in Assam. And again, not just for elephants and the habitats, but also for understanding the role that these communities play and can play in conservation. Because what happens a lot of time, and I have also heard this from a lot of conservationists and like ecologists as well, that oh, these communities are the problem. They blame the communities for everything and suggest that they should not be talked to or should be punished and such things. But most of the time, we tend to forget that these community peoples have been living around these habitats and alongside these species for such a long time, and they are the ones who bear the cost of conflict apart from the elephant the most. So on that front, the project designs and the community engagement work that Aaranyak does is exceptional. And since I have also worked with them, I know that this particular project, not only have objectives of conflict monitoring and elephant movement identification and ecological aspects, but also have initiatives to aware the communities about the conflict and the elephants, and on the same hand have livelihood support programs as well. So it's really an all-round work and covers a lot of aspects of conservation in a very, very good way. So with that, Rubul sir, the first thing I would like to ask from you is that you mentioned at the very first that the conflict situation and the scenario is very different in Upper Assam as compared to Lower Assam. So can you briefly tell us about how exactly is it different from Lower Assam?
So from my experience, it might be different, but I'm just sharing from my experience as I have also worked in the lower Assam, like Baksa districts and Gwalpara. I have seen the areas and also in Eastern Assam areas. So in Eastern Assam, there are still places like the human habitation is not so dense. And the villages that are located near the forest areas, they have a little bit gap. Till now, I have seen that. So also in the other areas like road construction and all the areas, as you know, in the Gwalpara, how the one highway runs inside the forest areas to the human habitation areas. So many at times you have seen that you have find newses that people have been killed in the road areas, like elephants have encountered the elephants and they have come into accident encounters with them. Many times injuries happen. You have seen that. So I think in Eastern Assam side, most probably till now, so people have like escaped from that kind of scenarios. But if we do not take like some mitigation activities from now or management activities or proper way of strategy, if not been taken, our Eastern Assam side also might become like that in future.
Fair enough, sir.
Yes.
So also I've also observed these things like talking to people that I've always had these questions that how exactly is it different. So listening to you about this was very nice. And the another thing that I wanted to ask from you is that since these communities that we are talking about here have been living with elephants forever, so what is exactly the relationship that they share with these elephants from the primitive times, and also do elephants have any cultural significance there?
Yes, Vedic. So in the eastern part areas, globally, as we know that people have been worshipping elephants from the past onwards. Okay, from years they have worshipping, or they have seen elephants as God or Lord Ganesha. They usually call. Even in most of the places, they don't term directly as elephants or hathi, as we say here, the name of elephant. They don't utter the word hathi. They used to say it as dangoria, or just say, they used to say as baba, like that. So they have some deep kind of endeavor, their feeling inside them. So just not to utter the word hathi. Okay, and we have seen that in ancient times also, these elephants, they have been used in marriages, not the wild elephants. As you know that Assam has the largest number of captive elephants. So most of the communities here, like our modern communities, they are attached with these elephants from the Asian onwards. So they really understand well with the elephants they have living. And due to some kind of scenario, I think some laws and all that, now people have started like they are shifting these elephants to like juice and all that, and even they have handed it over to forest department, like that. But as we know, this many of these communities, they are attached very much deeply with these elephants. Yeah, I think you just remembered when we just went to a Mahal, just asking him, like in a area, just asking him how does he communicate with these elephants, or how he's understand the behavior of his elephants. So he just said that even his elephant, his captive elephant, is where goes inside the reserve forest areas and they get mixed up with these wild elephants. Even then also he can identify the footprints of his captive elephants, and he used to go inside the forest areas, and in the herd actually he used to identify his captive elephant. You have seen that.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So, rightly said, sir. I mean, the relationship of elephants and Assam goes a long way back. So, I was reading up upon some things, and I got to know that even the dynasties before Ahoms, which were the prominent dynasty that were there that ruled Assam. So, even before Ahoms, there were very primitive dynasties such as Varman dynasty and the Sarasthamba dynasties, which had elephants as their emblems. And even the Ahoms dynasty, that elephants were really an asset for them. So they used elephants extensively in warfare and for lots and lot of other works as well. And they even had armies of elephant, and the chief used to be known as Hathi Barua. And
Yes.
they had Gajpatis who were elephant warriors. So there was this Hathigarh established near Jorhat, which was also considered sacred to the Ahoms, and elephants were kept and trained there. And not just on the warfare front, so on the tactical front as well, the elephants were very important. As during the Treaty of Majuli, which happened between the Koch King Naranarayana and the Ahom King Sukafa. So in that treaty as well, the Ahom King Sukafa paid elephants to the Koch King. So yeah, that was on the tactical front, and the Koch King like proceeded to establish a city known as Gazapur near Jorhat, where elephants were kept and trained. So, and with addition to that, there were many ancient texts that and very important texts that came out during the Ahoms and later on from Assam that had the mention of elephants and such. Like one of the very prominent texts, which was the Hasti Vidyarvana, which was
Yes.
written by Sukumar Barkai. And the Hatiputi also, which came later. So these texts, specifically the Hasti Vidyarvana, talked about the behavior of elephants in such detail, and the Hatiputi had like details of taming the elephants and the details of these medicines and all which can be given to the elephants and all. So yeah, these are very important texts that came out from that time, and this really shows that what information these people in very ancient times had about the elephant. So yeah, and uh, there just like this scenario is changing now that taming of elephants is now not is prohibited now, and people are not allowed to tame these elephants. So as you said, the Moran people. So Ahoms also recruited Moran people known as Hathi Sungas to tame the wild elephants from the forest and to give them to the Ahom dynasty. So yeah, again, there was these all kinds of things, but and now that it is prohibited, but still, if we can go to some elders of these communities, they still possess that knowledge about elephants, and they speak very well about all those things, their behavior patterns and such things. And yes, the relationship is also changing now due to conflict, and people have also developed a sense of rage and resentment towards elephants, despite their historical relevance that they share. But that's the narrative that we are trying to improve, isn't it? Like there are positive anecdotes as well that we hear from people, very interesting things that. I remember one guy saying that, oh, these elephants are very smart, they're very human-like, they understand
Yes.
emotions of people. Those who will hurt them, they only hurt them. So yeah, these kinds of things are also going in the communities. And even a missing tribe, I read that they leave prasads and offerings in the way of elephants. Elephant passes to seek protection from them, as they believe that elephants are the forest spirits. So even after all these negative narratives that we hear in the present times involving elephants, there are still these hopeful and small traditions and stories which really gives us something to work. So yeah, again, a very interesting things, and to work with the community, we get to hear about a lot of these stories and other such stuff. So moving forward, sir, there,
Yeah,
as we
yeah,
talked about,
we
like,
just going to add up like
yes,
most of the times you have seen that people having this negative views for elephants. You have seen that, but in the last 2 years you have been working here, so you have
yes,
also seen that there is some hope among the people. Like so,
exactly,
to bring back this kind of good thoughtful or perception again in this area, and to remove all the negative thoughts. So we
yes,
have been trying for that. Okay. So
I,
now,
yeah.
yeah, one more thing what you have mentioned is about the missing people in the Majuli area. So I just remember one article what you have shared. So can you just tell me about that article?
Yes, so sir, there was this one article. So as you also mentioned about this particular herd of elephant that migrates in the riverine belts of Brahmaputra, in the northern belt particularly.
Yes.
So there was this one day when I was sitting, and Miss Seema Lokhandwala, one of the elephant researchers from Assam, called me and said that, Vedic, do you know about this particular elephant herd that who like migrates in the banks of Brahmaputra? So I said, yes, since by that time I had a word with you and the people around that about this particular herd of elephants. So I said, yes. So she said, it's a very interesting herd, and their story is very interesting. So let's write an article about them or write something about them. So from that came the idea of writing an article about this particular herd. So again, as I said, that it's a very interesting pathway that they follow, because we are usually used to seeing elephants moving along forest and grasslands and such. But at this particular, the migratory pattern is very interesting. And and they, as you said, as you also mentioned, this particular herd like traverse through Dibrugarh, Shivsagar, Majuli, and Jorhat, these four districts only. And upon inquiry, it came out that in 1994, a herd of 4 to 6 elephants, which was believed to have moved from Arunachal Pradesh, came via Lakhimpur district, which is adjacent to the Arunachal. And subsequently, this population exhibited gradual growth, and initially, their ranges also encompass Dhemaji and Lakhimpur district as well. But over time, due to the habitat clearance and fragmentation, it's now restricted to these four districts only. And from that 4 to 6 elephants in the 2007, like a population estimation was done, and it came to be around 82 individuals. But now it has grown to over 150 individuals. And they start from like you said that they start from this particular Dehingmukh Reserve Forest in Dibrugarh district, and they subsequently move towards Pani Dehing Bird Sanctuary in Shivsagar. Then they go towards the Jorhat district through Disang and Dikhaung region, and then through Molai Reserve Forest, which is again a very interesting man-made forest created by a very renowned environmentalist, Mr. Jadhav Payeng, who's also known as the Forest Man of India. So yeah, and then they finally enter Majuli, and then they retrace their steps back towards the same area. So also, it came to my notice that these elephants also tried to enter Kaziranga, but because Kaziranga already have a good healthy population of elephants, that herd chased them back towards their usual route of this riverine belt. So yeah, and just to be like precise, they moved to till the Bogeybill Bridge, and we know that after the Bogeybill Bridge, the Dhemaji district starts. So they go towards that area, and now that they follow the same pattern back and forth. So, and again, since we have talked about Majuli here, and there's this. I think we should talk about Majuli as well, because Majuli shares a very unique relationship with elephants as well. So, just to tell everybody that Majuli is the largest riverine island which is present in India and has also been given the distinction of a district, and it's the first of its kind. And it consists of very small Saporis, which are small islands, and it's also the hub of Neo Vaishnavite culture, and it's very famous for its satras. So, what I read that in these satras, there is this thing called Guru Asana, which is the sacred throne, and it consists of various levels. So, seven to be precise, it consists of seven levels, and on each level, there is this motif of an tortoise resting, and on the top of that tortoise, there is this elephant, and on the top of that elephant, there is this lion resting. So, what it signifies that the tortoise is basically the earth on which we live. The elephant, due to its massive size and mass, it's depicted as evil or pap or a burden on the earth. And on the top of that lion, it shows that the victory of good over evil. So it's another like perspective that comes out, that how elephants are embedded in various cultures, because here it is shown in a negative light. So, and mind you, just because it's this Guru Asana shows them in some sort of negative light, people. There was a story of the 2020 floods that happened in Majuli. So there was this particular herd of elephant that got stranded on one of the sapuris there, and yeah, people since because we know that like people see them in negative light, but still people marched together and they collected funds in those heavy floods. They collected funds and to provide food to these stranded elephants, and this was really a good insight that even after all these things, people are ready to serve these elephants and do good. They do not want to harm them in any way. So yeah, just very nice to understand. So yeah, this was this about this particular herd of elephant. Thank you for touching upon that, sir. So yeah. I would also, since we are talking about these challenges and everything that people like all these lights of elephant and the perspective that are there, and we also understand that, sir, while like implementing the project, and particularly projects such as which involves talking about conflict and tackling conflict, there are always challenges when it comes to working with these communities. So are there some sort of challenges that you have faced, and what are those, if you would like to share some of them?
So working with these communities, there are many challenges. Like first of all, like building trust among them. You will find anyway in some meetings there will be people who don't want to listen your words or something. Usually that kind of thing happens in all the areas. So that might be a different thing. But anyhow, as an ecologist or as a biologist, we have to make them understand. As a conservationist, we have to provide some kind of light to them, so that we can do this kind of conservation works. So many a times we have found also problems or found challenges in working with them during the installation of solar fences. So people usually don't understand that we cannot block the way of the elephants, and how we are going to implement this kind of solar fence. Like most of the you most probably you have remembered that at one
Yes.
instant we have found that the people didn't agree that we have to put circular fences. So they wanted to put like linear fences, so it will be easy to stop. They didn't wanted the elephants to come and cross the areas and go to
Yes.
the other RFs and all that. So now we have put the people have been convinced, and we have put the small circular fences there. So now the people have also approach us, and they have told that we have done a good thing by not doing the linear fences and all that. Because if we are doing the linear fences, the elephants will definitely find a other way to enter the villages, and they will get
Yeah.
trapped inside the villages, and that will affect more, I think. So now in a circular fences, the people are having good crops in the after harvesting, and really it's like bringing and or getting them some relief of what previously they have damages of their crops and like other properties.
So I precisely remember that incident when we were
Yes.
like doing that whole solar fencing surveys and all. So and
Yes,
we
during the flood
there was
onwards. Yeah,
heavy
we're
rains and all.
up to the waist with water. Yeah,
Yeah, the marks of the leech are still there on my legs.
yeah, I have to.
So yeah, it was really an interesting incident because like one of the challenge that you said that often comes while talking with the communities and dealing with the communities, that is that sometimes they don't understand the perspective of our of ecologists as us. So it was really important because just to give a context to everybody, this particular area was this is in Tinsukia. So again, uh, the Brahmaputra river used to flow from west to east in that particular village, and to the north of that Brahmaputra's bank, there's this village which is situated. And if we will go further north towards from that village, there is a small pocket of forest reserve that is present there. So the usual way of elephants is around from that bank of that river, but that particular forest patch which was present to the north of that village was also very important for the elephant, because the elephants were using and used to use that for their refuge purposes. So sometimes they used to like rest there and eat there and all. So, but the problem was that the area, the path towards that forest used to go from the village, and in the way they used to like destroy the crops and all these houses of people and all. So people wanted a linear fence to completely stop these elephants entering their villages. But what it would have done is that it would have restricted the area or the path of the elephant towards that a particular forest patch. And as ecologists, we understand that we should not be hindering in the way of the elephant, and we should not mess with their ways like the pathways. So to convey it to the communities was one challenge, because they were very adamant that no, we want a linear fence and all. So now listening to you from you that they have now agreed that they are okay with circular fencing, and they will allow the elephant to move freely towards that area. It's very nice to hear that, and
So
that's why
like
I think the organization's ethics also plays a very important role, and Aaranyak has really done a good job in preserving that. So yeah, kudos to that, sir.
yes, Vedic. So, like decades ago, it might be the a good amount of or a good amount of forest. It might be there, but since the
Yes,
time you have seen that it's a small area. But who will make them understand? Actually, we the
exactly.
people have done this kind of scenarios, no? So we have to understand that kind of thing. Like these elephants, because as we know that elephants have a good memory, and also their
Yes.
sense of smell is also very good. So
Very.
they used to remember that before they used to travel that area, that and they used to stay there and they used to refuse there or rest there. So now they cannot change that. Actually, we have to do all kind of mitigation strategies to provide them that kind of support. Actually, they have to we have to check that these elephants also don't get disturbed, and also the human habitation areas also.
Yes. Very rightly said, sir. So, and again, on that front, sir, like we talk about these conflicts and all, and to talk with the communities, and also a lot of time we also don't understand. To be very honest, we don't understand their perspective towards conflict as well. And as we are talking about this particular incident, I just want to talk about this thing that there are multiple hidden costs and indirect costs of conflict as well, which are related with these direct costs that we see very often, that elephants are coming and destroying their houses and their crops and everything. But what we usually don't see is the hidden costs that are attached to it. So, and I feel that direct cost can of conflict can be compensated to some extent, and can be compensated for, but indirect costs which are there that underlie can be prevented for the future things, but cannot be really compensated. So and there can be an n number of ways in which people get directly affected due to conflict. What's your take? Matlab, like, sure, you have been working in the field for a long time and with the community for a lot of years now. So, what are some of the indirect costs and such underlying things that you see happening there, sir?
So there are many indirect such cost and effects, like this kind of scenario. It not only affects like properties of crops. This can be seen actually directly with the eyes, but some areas people are really affected mentally. So recently, I have talked with the women's in the Majuli areas. So uh, their village, they have completely shifted their villages into new Haldiwari. As you know that it was
Okay.
like
Yes.
old Haldiwari before that.
Yeah.
So they have shifted their villages and settled in a new area only due to the elephants. Before there, the elephants didn't visited the area, but after some time, when the elephant first came and visited the area and what kind of incident happened, really it's amazing to talk with the old peoples there. So they have shared their experience how this kind of things. Even I have seen that they have seen the old vessels and all that, what they used, the people used to eat the food or eat the, yeah, take their dinner. After that they used to dug an area, and they used to hide all the utensils there just to prevent that elephant
Yeah.
stepping that kind of. So this is
Yeah.
really affecting their mental health. Okay,
Yes.
and also you remembered one woman named Minima Gogoi. What kind of
Yes.
effect? Yeah, you surely you have remembered that she also had mental trauma. Oh, so unfortunately
Mm.
she died after 1 year. We met her actually due to this incident, what happened with her uh,
Yes.
related with these elephants. So this cannot be compensated, so
Exactly.
even people sometimes have this kind of scenario. They cannot also, this woman also cannot talk this kind of things with many peoples. Actually, they want to share these experiences, but they are
Yes.
means where to share. There is no platform to share this kind of knowledges of areas. So whenever we visit them and talk with them friendly, they used to come us and share. And also very curious. So you have worked in the Chhattisgarh area. You can also share some of the this kind of experiences what you have actually. I'll be glad to know that.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sir. So, exactly as you said that during my master's thesis when I was in Chhattisgarh, so this is just contradicting from the fact that we are talking about Assam, but I think that's the thing we should talk about a little. So, yeah, while I was doing my master's degree in Chhattisgarh, I was very keen in understanding these indirect costs of conflict that are associated with all the conflict and the negative interactions with elephants or other species there. So I read one very interesting paper by Dr. Man Barua about on these. In that paper, what he really did was he like gave some categories to like the indirect cost. But one was the opportunity cost, one was transactional cost, and one was the health cost. And all the different kinds of cost can be incorporated in these three categories. So that was very interesting to see. So I thought to implement that as well and to try to understand what are the various cost of conflict, the indirect costs that are associated. So I will not go into detail, but I will just share two incidences, one from from Chhattisgarh and one in detail about the minimum wage thing that that you believed about. So in Chhattisgarh, there was this one person whose house got completely dismantled. Like it was and it was in front of me when I was there. I was watching, and we all were watching, and we couldn't do anything. And that elephant, that it was a loner, and it completely dismantled his house. And he brought a very new TV, an LED TV, and mind you, again, this particular forest range is again inside the forest and very remote. So, and these people are not very well to do. So, monetary on the monetary basis. So yeah, and so buying even a TV was a very big thing for them, and an elephant coming and destroying their 5 days old LED TV and dismantling their whole house was a very big thing for him. So I waited for a few days and before going to talk to him in order to allow him to settle a bit. So when I went to his house, I got to know that his wife died a few years ago, and now he only cares after, and he only looks after his sons and all. So while I was talking to him, I saw his son climbing a ladder which was attached to one of the pakka pakka house that he had. So he was climbing the ladder, and on the rooftop of that pakka house, it was there was a bed, and it was surrounded by all these tirpals and plastic sheets, and it was peak monsoon area. So I asked him why is he sleeping there, and why is he not sleeping inside that pakka and that pakka house of his. So he said that so we are very from last time when elephant came, we still had few ways to cross when elephant was coming from one end, we ran towards from the other end. So, but now we are just left with this small construction that is there, and there's only just one gate of entry and exit. So, if an elephant will come again, me and my children won't be able to run from anywhere because there's just one entrance. An elephant can kill us all. And what if he breaks into our house? So, and then he said that, and it was peak monsoon again. So he was sleeping with his sons on the rooftop in that rains, and there were these mosquitoes and everything. And he also shared one thing with me that now every time he steps out from his home, he feels that an elephant is standing right in front of him. So this was a sign of PTSD, as we commonly call it in terms of psychology and all such things. So these were and it's very well that he might be suffering from PTSD at that time, but nobody was there, and he was compensated for his house. Compensation was given to him for the destruction of his property and all, but who was there to count for that? Nobody. Nobody was even there to talk about how he's feeling, how his sons, what if they get sick after sleeping in the rains, or what if they get dengue or malaria by the mosquitoes that are there in the open. So these are the things that doesn't come out. So, and it was the cost of conflict. And again, as we talked about the Menuma Gogoi incident, I would like to talk about that in a description. What happened actually was that this particular lady and her husband, they did not have any children. So they used to live alone in that house of theirs. And this lady, Minima Gugui, she was visually not very she was visually impaired and could not see very clearly. So one night an elephant entered and broke into her house to eat the grains that were stored, and she could not properly see what was happening. She just had a blurred memory that an elephant had some big creatures had entered and is eating the rice and all that are stored there. So one can imagine like the fear at that particular point of time when if you are properly able to see able, you can still run from there and can see what is happening. But if you are very visually not visually impaired, you cannot even see what is happening, where to run, what to expect and all. So what happened afterwards is that the elephant did not harm her or her husband. He just broke into her house and then left after eating the stuff. But what happened after that incident, she got so traumatized and afraid that she was completely bedridden after that. And after few days, she eventually died. So, when anybody will talk about that incident, anybody will say that, oh, she died because of her sickness and all these things. But nobody will really emphasize on the fact that the elephant breaking into her house really had a very big impact on her well-being. So again, these are the things that are again are not very talked about and cannot ever be compensated. So I remember when there was my last day in Assam, we presented the memento to her husband, and I designed that for him, and it was really that man started crying. So yeah, it was really an emotional moment for me, and it's something that will stay with me forever. So yeah, there are these things that we go through and see while working on the field and all. So yeah, that was the
So it's like even a blur view or blur effect can have an effect in your heart, actually. So she didn't like have the clear views of the elephants, but it affected a lot, actually. Well, also in the past year, I have met people who is a daily wage earner. So
yes.
an elephant broke into his house and it tried to eat something from the inside the house. So I just asked him actually that who are the people they live in that house? Do you have any? How many members are there? Actually, he said, I am just alone. Okay. Again, now I cannot say him that you please stay away or sleep in that room where there are no things to eat, actually. So as you know, we have our kitchens in the extra rooms and we have bedrooms and other rooms and all that.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that he has only one room, okay,
Yeah.
where he cooks actually and where he sleeps actually. Now he cannot go to the even to the forest department because he is a daily wage earner. Okay, so he has to go to the work to earn. So in that kind of situation, nothing comes into play actually. What to say sometimes? That kind of scenario is also found in Assam, actually.
And even like there can be n number of incidents like these. Like these are just two, and
That has
but
not been reported
yeah,
actually.
and these are reported, and because the minimum Gogoi story, what why we are able to tell this to everybody is because we were there, and there can be n number of such minimum Gogois whose stories have gone unheard, and like that is never compensated and not very talked about by talking about conflict. So yeah, it's one thing that I think everybody working in the field should emphasize on and should talk with more emphasis. So yeah, so it was a little heavy
Yes.
conversation. So yeah, let's move ahead, sir. So another thing that I really wanted to ask you about is that like these are some incidences because we were able to make connections with the people and really good connections with the people. And I have seen everybody in Aaranyak not on just an organizational level, but on personal level have also very deep connections with the people that they are working with on ground. So And also, while working with these communities in conflict-prone areas, especially, I believe that grabbing and taking the most of every opportunity wherever possible, it's very important to build a rapport with the community, because to stay connected with them, and sometimes just to be there for them. So I've seen Aaranyak does that very efficiently, and I would want you to talk about this a little, that how we actually do that on ground.
Actually, sometimes it's very neat that we have to do some kind of extra things in order to build rapport with the people. In order to build good connections with the people, like different different types of programs that, as you remember, I think some part done like that kind of program we had in the school.
Binamul
Uh,
Pradhan, yes.
yeah. So, and also in different occasions when people come and approach to with us that we do this kind of art programs, or this kind of like activities, women's program like cooking competition and all that, people used to come and ask us that. We are very grateful, like so this gives us a platform to build good connections with the people actually. So we have been doing that also. So in like in other cases, various environmental days programs we have been doing with the people there. So this kind of things, it really makes and gives us opportunity to build a good relation with the people, even after our work is finished. So we have to do such kind of small things in order to keep the relation good in the future also. So we have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, very important thing, sir. I also remember there was this time when there was this international bird day, and uh, we could organize an bird watching event for the school kids there, and it was interesting again to understand that even that was uh, established in Pani Dehi Bird Sanctuary. So we took the students of that school to the sanctuary, and these students were living in near to that sanctuary forever. But when I was talking to some of them and talking about birds and everything, and how often do you come here, how often do you come for bird watching particularly, so those students didn't actually come used to come there for bird watching and things like that. And they said, oh sir, this is a very new thing for us. Like, we understand that people from foreign countries and everything come there to watch birds and to watch everything, but we hear about all these stuff, but we didn't actually ever come to this particular area for bird watching. So taking them with us to show them the birds and to show them their area only. So it was very nice, because and even the rainforest in the Patkai, it was very nice to talk about rainforest and the species that are there with the students, because they knew about those species, but what value they hold is not something which is often talked about with them. And to nurture kids and the community people, like to talk with the community people about all these things was very nice, was a very nice thing for me personally as well. So yeah, I really used to enjoy that there.
So it's not only for the students, I think for every conservationists or like people like us who have started at first, like it's really exciting at that time to know new names and all that. So
Exactly.
like for snakes also, these snakes doesn't have any venom. These snakes are
Hmm.
venomous like that. So it's very excitement for us, not only for students, for every conservationist
Yes,
actually.
sir.
Yeah.
Exactly, sir. Like Assam was very new to me, because all those species, and to know about all those species and then go and talk about all those things with the community and the people and the students there, it was just a very good experience. So I still vividly remember everything from there. So for the very last thing, sir, like the last thing I really want to ask, and then I would like to close this conversation. Like, what do you see the fate of elephant and the communities going forward in Eastern Assam?
I think there is a hope, like we can do something, we the people can do something. to lower the intensity of this human elephant conflict and bring coexistence. So in past 3-4 years, we have seen that this emerging conflict, a little bit we have lowered it down like that. So not only Aaranyak, I will say that every forest department, other organizations, even the peoples have, like nowadays, they have shared a single platform. They have come forward to work to lower these conflicts. So for Eastern Assam, I think in near future we'll be able to give lights and bring this coexistence in the same way in the future.
Really hopeful for that as well, sir. Like all these things that are actually now making impact. When I was there, we were just in the process of implementing things and we were doing these things. So now to actually see that impact of all those things happening on ground really gives me the hope as well. And it was really nice to talk to you about all these things that we did together. And now that you are and Aaranyak are doing on ground. So it was really nice and to gather all those memories and everything. So yeah, thank you so much, sir, for having this conversation with me.
Yes, Vedic. Yes,
And
yes. I'm also
yeah,
very glad to see you back in the platform. So it reminds me of the past times. Actually, it was very nice talking with you. Yeah.
thank you so much, sir, and thank you everybody for listening to us.
Thank you, Mr. Vedic Gupta and Mr. Rubul Tanti, for that engaging and insightful discussion. It was truly valuable to hear different perspectives, experience, stories, even our next segment, which is question and answer session, where we invite questions from the participants. They can add their respective questions in the chat box. To moderate this session, I am pleased to introduce Ms. Priyanka Bora. Priyanka Bora is a wildlife enthusiast and an ecologist from Assam, currently enrolled as PhD student at ATREE in Conservation Science and Sustainability Studies. Her background is in zoology. During her master's thesis, she studied seed dispersal by Asian elephants in Rani Garbhanga Reserve Forest, Assam. Later, she joined the Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, in the Karbi movement, initially with the local community and the Indian and it offered to take
Yes.
So wonderful topic and relation between nice and it was a lot of called Rubunda because I know him. Da means brother, and we know from not worked extensively on elephants, but I have worked on large mammals. And from one fact that I understand that while you work with communities for mitigation of any negative interaction or any kind of interaction with wildlife, uh, funds are required. And also what is important is after securing the funds, it is very difficult to mobilize those funds and to check if those funds are used appropriately the equipments that are provided to the villagers are used appropriately, because there is always a social structure in the local communities which we don't have a hold on. So I just want to ask Rubulda if he has some certain things on that, like if he knows how to manage all of those mobilization of funds and equipment, so when we provide something to the local communities, so that the mitigation measures that are provided can be sustaining in the long run.
So, first of all, hi Priyanka.
Hi.
So, like after 4 years, 5 years, I'm talking with you. Uh, so working with communities actually, and this kind of conservation works really needs a long time approach actually. So it cannot be done in like 2 or 3 years, I think. So for that we need a like lot of funds and lot of monetary help supports for that, and everyone like even funders should understand that well, like in 3 years we cannot work with the properly with the communities, because building trust, and as I said that there are many problems or challenges with the communities we have to face with the communities, like most of the times like they are not they do not accept us like from other areas or other organizations coming in their villages and working with them to solve these issues. So like 1 or 2 year it directly just passed away like that, talking with the communities and all that. So we should also have some like we should also build ourselves like and have an strategy to how to use this how to use these funds in a proper way with the communities, like and even for that I think we should uh, bring out some ideas like not providing the people directly with this kind of monetary support and all that. So they must also understand that this problem are theirs or this problem are ours. This problem is not only for the forest department. So in that way they will understand like how to deal or tackle with this kind of problem. If initially they will, if we are if we are successful in making them understand that these are the problems we have created, we the people have created, we have to deal with them. So slowly they will learn that, and they will also come forward to help us to avoid such kind of problems, and they will use this kind of funds and all that they will use like properly. Okay.
Yeah. And you like Vedic mentioned about hidden cost.
Yes.
So another one thing I wanted to understand. So with negative interaction, since there are hidden cost, and the word conflict and coexistence are always like two parts of the coin, like the flip side of the coin. So, do you think coexistence as the idea and concept is possible in Assam in the context of elephants?
So first of all, we must
So
understand actually. Yes, Vedic. Yeah.
you go ahead, sorry.
Yes. So first of all, we must understand actually what is coexistence. Whenever we say coexistence to the people, they actually have a picture that people and elephant are living together in the same platform. Like they have a view of that. But actually, it's not that. People are living in a secure way in their areas, and elephant also living in their habitat without harming each other. This is the meaning of coexistence. But when we directly people say in other languages, if we say that we make them understand that can coexistence really exist in this kind of landscape and all that, when we say them, they ask us that what is coexistence actually. Then they in the local language what we say like people and elephant living together like that. So they will have a view or a picture that people how people and this elephant will be living together. This cannot be this coexistence cannot exist actually in reality. So first we must set this idea and make them understand well that what is coexistence actually. Yeah, Vedic, you can add up.
Yeah, very well answered, sir. So I would also like to build upon that, the thing that coexistence. Yeah, as I said again, that these hidden costs and the indirect costs can be prevented, but cannot be actually compensated. So we can prepare for the future, like through all these projects that we are doing to like develop a sense of understanding amongst the communities. Because as we all know that these people have been living around elephants forever. So uh, if if it would have been a newer area where elephants are now started to come, then it would have been a different sort of a challenge. But since these people are well aware about elephants and their ranges and the behavior of these elephants, so I feel it's still somewhat easier there to talk to these people and to make them understand about these elephants and what is the actual situation here, and which also like Aaranyak is also doing on the same hand, apart from these mitigation measures and techniques as well, through their awareness programs. And also someday it will be talked about in more detail about the livelihood programs there that they are doing. So just to give them a different set of thing to uh, actually pursue, can also make them and bring tolerance amongst them. So yeah, I think again I will stick to this one statement of mine, that it can be prevented but cannot be compensated for. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Rubulda and Vedic. We have a question from Satyam Mahajan, and he's asking like, what role do traditional knowledge and local practices play in coexisting with elephants?
So, as as I have said, actually, that most of the areas people, like we have seen that due to this negative interaction nowadays, people are uh, changing their good thoughts, okay, towards these elephants. Like they used to like scold the elephants and all that. But in the same platform, we also have a hope, or we have also a chance that people are still worshipping these elephants. This result only shows the how these elephants are related, how these cultural things are related with these elephants. Actually, if that haven't been there from ancient times, this kind of good thoughts would not been there. Actually, still we have a hope that in most of the parts of Assam, I think people used to do this Dangoria pujas. We used to worship these elephants in certain season. I think
Yeah.
they used to gather together. The villagers used to gather together. They used to worship this Dangoria pujas. So this kind of things are still there. So we still have a hope. This is related to their cultural linkage actually.
So I would like to add on that. So in Kaziranga, when we were working, we found that the communities they do Ganesh Puja, which is not on the like date of the Ganesh Chaturthi or something. It's a different puja that they organize before the harvesting season. So when the
Okay.
first yield comes, they will provide that yield to Ganesha, and they will pray that the next harvest also the elephants doesn't come and then destroy their crops. And so they will just say that this much we are offering to Lord Ganesha, and that's why Lord Ganesha won't come and like destroy our crops. That's a belief they have. So yeah, maybe that's a hope and that's a positive belief that people are holding on to. But also we should learn that while sitting here and discussing this is very easy, but people who are actually facing that in a real scenario and every day encountering elephants, the fear of elephants coming and damaging their crops, their properties, it's very different from them. So sometimes the beliefs might get shaken. So
Yes.
that is, yeah, that is when I think the conservation practitioners should dive in and then do something.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And like as we mentioned that elephants are being worshipped as Lord Ganesha everywhere in the country. So again, but still, particularly to this question, that traditional knowledge, how traditional knowledge can play a part. So when I was in Chhattisgarh, that area, so elephants are like elephants are establishing there after hundreds of years. So people were not very aware about the elephant situation and things like that. So they used to say things like कि अरे इनको तो फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट लाके छोड़ दिया है, फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट हैज like left these elephants here to kill us all and things like that. But I
Or
have
to
never
take their
heard.
lands.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I never heard these things while I was there in Assam, because people knew about that elephants are there. They have been there since centuries. So, and to just know about them and through their folklores and traditional stories and everything. So that is how it makes an impact. That they do not say things like this. Since if you are having traditional knowledges and things like that in the communities going. So yeah, that is how traditional knowledge can play a role.
Uh, Thank you, Vedic and Rubulda. Uh, any more questions to like if anyone wants to ask from the participants? We would like to know. You can just type it on the chat box. While we get some more questions, like I just want to know, I don't have much literature background on elephants, so I just want to know if there is a possibility to understand stress on elephants from different mitigation measures. So can you tell me, like, just us about something about stress levels, if we can measure from mitigation, like if we are, um, suppose we are putting solar fans or we are making noises, so can we just see how those different various mitigation measures they affect, or the stress level gets affected of an elephant, so that we can choose a mitigation measure which does the least harm to the animal.
Okay, Priyanka, there have been works done actually, but I'm not sure about this one. Like after mitigation measures, some kind of work on their like looking on their stress hormone, and this kind of works have been done. So there is a chance of that kind of work that can be
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
And we
I mean,
must,
people
yeah.
can do.
Yeah, and we must also come forward to do such kind of works, because sometimes our mitigation techniques also might go in other way. So you, as you have said, that this kind of mitigation techniques must be like that, that it like the minimum kind of stress must happen to the elephant. So we must also make that kind of mitigation studies available for everyone. So I think we might have a chance of looking on that also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Vedic, yeah.
yeah. So there's this one paper that I remember of. It was from some researcher of Conservation Initiative, that organization, who have like try to understand the impacts that these solar fencing and other kind of fencing which like restricts the movement of elephant in some sorts, how it affects the elephants and their movement pattern. So that is there. I will have to look for the specific name. I'm forgetting that. And as Rubul also said that there have been studies going on to understand the stress level of elephants. So again, I will have to look for specific ones, but yeah, I remember that there are some literature available on that, and I will definitely share with you about whenever I will find that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Also,
sure.
it's very different, I think, in the wild to look to get some samples. So that might be also a challenge to get some samples to look for the stress hormone and all that. So after been getting shocked and all that for the mitigation measures. So in the wild, in captivity, we can do that. We can get amount of samples, but for wild, I think it's really a challenge to get at that time.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there are studies which are taking into account the elephant dung and all to understand the stress level of elephants. But yeah, as sir said, which elephant has actually got electrocuted or things like that, that are not very easy to understand. But still, yeah, like efforts can be made in that direction to understand such things. So it can be a very good study. Yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
it can be a very good study.
So we have no questions from the participants, but if you guys want to enlighten us with some more stories and some more insights from the field. Hello.
Vedic? Yes.
Yeah.
So, Vedic, do you remember such kind of any other incidents actually? What really can help us in this platform actually?
Related to what, sir, exactly?
It might be anything, I think, related to conservation and all that
So,
related to
yeah,
elephants.
there are many incidents, uh, like I can go on about it, to, uh, but yeah, like again, my topic of interest remains at understanding the indirect costs again. So I would like to share one funny indirect cost that is associated, which may be a topic of laugh for us, but it was a a serious situation for that guy. So there was this guy in Chhattisgarh, and he was going along with his girlfriend, or his fiance in the forest, and they were on foot. So what happened actually? An elephant came in their way, and it was not a very joyous moment for both of them. And the guy ran from there without taking into account where his fiance was. So and he just ran. So the female somehow she didn't suffer any injuries or anything, thankfully. But what happened later was that she got so agitated that how can you leave me behind in such a situation? What if uh, it would have killed me or have injured me? So she said that I cannot marry a man who will leave me in such a situation, and she broke the marriage. So this was a very funny incident that happened, and we talked about things that can happen due to elephant, but this was a thing that
These
was
are also some of the hidden costs.
Yeah,
yeah,
there
this
can be
this is
breakups
one of
also.
the hidden
Like
costs that elephants can break marriages also. So yeah.
Yes. So, like, apart from habitat fragmentation, electrocution, like, what are the potential threats here for the defense in Assam specifically?
So in Assam, I think most apart from these things, I will not say directly, but indirectly, most of the things like settlement areas, habitat fragmentation, as you know. Apart from that, there are things like building road constructions are there. So many a times blockage of corridors are there, or their corridors are being shifted nowadays. So I think uh, there is one area in Tinsika district. I will not refer directly to that area, but so since there are in the last decade some construction have has been done, these elephants they have now changed their routes. Okay, so through the human settlement areas, crossing the paddy fields, and now they have done this change this kind of route in order to reach the other side of the RFs. So most of the time we can see that lot of other threads they combine and make these things happen. Actually,
And also, do you think invasive species has some threat on elephants?
it might be. I do not have a clear idea for that, but it might be because see, we cannot directly say that uh, there is no food available in the forest areas or something like that, because these elephants are browsers also and grazers also. Yeah, so they need lot of amount of grasses and all that, and also mixed vegetation. So directly saying that there is no food available, it will be not a right thing, I think, because we should have such kind of research works and other things to understand that also. So most probably it might that, as we know that elephants need like a big landscape to live. And nowadays we have seen that these forest areas have been fragmented and they are small forest areas. So for that reason, these elephants have reached these human settlement areas. Probably that might be a reason actually.
Okay, we have another question from Satyam Mahajan. He's asking, how can students and young researchers contribute to elephant conservation efforts?
Can Priyanka, can you repeat the question actually?
Okay. How can students and young researchers contribute to elephant conservation efforts?
So when I joined actually Aaranyak, I was also a student actually. I was doing my bachelor's degree, so I had this interest on orchids actually. From that time, it usually happens like uh, entering this field will make you help build relationship and knowing other people's who are like related to this kind of works. So from that time, I made our colleagues and other people who are related with Aaranyak and elephant conservation works. So nowadays, even this wildlife conservation and environment subjects, uh, they give importance actually in the school period onwards. So most of the time, this is the platform actually where you can go in and approach different organizations mostly and can go to different events organized by other forest departments or other wildlife conservation organizations like RNX, WII or their WTIs or the WTI is there, WWF is there. So whenever there is a program, we should go and volunteer. We should ask. In that way, they will get in touch with this kind of things. Yes, Pekka.
Yes.
Yeah, and even if somebody does not, if he or she does not wish to get involved directly with the work, they can. There's this thing called social media, which is very important nowadays. So just sharing some insightful posts on Instagram or Facebook or something can lead to very positive results and can help us in changing perspective towards these species amongst people. So just if you are even sharing one post, there are a number of people who will read about that and will get influenced by that. So yeah, this is another thing that can in such way you can contribute to that.
So it's hello. Yeah. So it's like if you are not reachable to us, we will reach you actually by seeing the post and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, also, if you, I would like to add on to that, if you are a good artist or something, you can just make comics out of it, anything on elephants, just to raise awareness. If you are interested in elephant conservation, or in that case, any wildlife conservation, you can just write articles, you can raise awareness through social media, you can make art, you can take photographs, and yeah, that is actually a very good platform to let people know the problems that is there in the society.
Yes.
We have another one question from Sudhamshu Rao. He's asking, have there been scenarios where you have convinced local communities to change the crops they grow that elephants are not attracted to?
Hmm. Yes, I do remember in one such case in I think Baksa district and Udalguri district. So the people actually have lost their they have left actually cultivating the paddy crops in that area, in one big area, I think, because every time they cultivate these crops, the elephant comes and they destroy or raid the crops. So they have completely left these crops. Okay, but afterwards, when we just went and approached them with this alternative crops, like turmeric is there. This is not so palatable to the elephants or favorite for the elephants. So the elephants used to avoid this kind of crops. Now I have seen that the people, the women's in that area, they have cultivated this kind of crops and they have got a good sum of money, I think.
Yeah. Um, I'd like to request the participants, if they have any more questions, they can just put it in the chat box. Satyam says thank you for the guidance, like for telling him the how students and young researchers can contribute to elephant conservation.
Yes.
Well, we don't have any more questions. So, Prashya,
Yes.
Yeah, I think we are done with the question and answer
Okay.
session.
This was truly an insightful session filled with valuable perspectives on mitigation human elephant conflicts. It was great to hear about the measures being taken to balance wildlife conservation and community well-being. A big thank you to our speaker, Mr. Rubul Tanti, and to Mr. Vedic Gupta for engaging with the conversation. Also, a special thanks to Priyanka Bora for moderating the question and answer session. Before we wrap up, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizing committee for putting together this wonderful session. Last but not the least, thank you all for joining, and I hope we continue to engage in such sessions in future. Thank you.
Thanks, Prachaya and everyone. Thanks, Vedic. Thanks, Priyanka, and all our
Yeah,
organizers.
thanks
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Thank you, Vedic, Rubul, Prachaya, Priyanka. I think it was a very, very good discussion and, a lot of food for thought. And I just, since some of were asking about students and, how to get into conservation, like how Vedic and Rubul mentioned, right? You can always reach out to, you can do it through academics, you can do it through NGOs, right? You can, tag yourself with the forest department. There are, multiple ways of doing it, but I would just encourage younger people to also, think about way of living, right? See, finally, I think it boils down to how we live, right? We're talking about communities, we're talking about, it's just not, of course it is about communities because they live close by, they are suffering, right? So it looks as if, they are the ones in the limelight, but I think everyone mainly living in the cities, right? How we live, right? The current world of consumerism, right? It's affecting, finally, it's putting a lot of pressure on the forests, right? For example, the big hydroelectric power projects, right? Roads, why are roads being built, right? Why are flyovers being built, right? It's so easy to just order something on Amazon today, right? But look at the amount of resources that it consumes, right? A person has to deliver a product that we just sit and order couple of seconds on a mobile phone. Look at the amount of resources that is being consumed, right? So it is finally putting a lot of pressure on our natural resources, which includes forests, right? Which includes, you know directly affects our animals, and of course finally it affects humans, because without them we cannot survive, right? So the young generation definitely needs to concentrate on how they live, right? Because just imagine the amount of resources that we are using today. If the previous generation had consumed, so much of resources, we would never be there today, right? So it's important, yes, of course, the conservation, and it's just not about conservation. It's just not like a profession. You just get into conservation and do some work. I mean, how we can make a difference is how we live, right? Consume less, just consume whatever is necessary, right? And it's for us, it's not for forests or it's not for elephants. It's just because we can, kind of prolong our tribe. Otherwise, I think we have very less chance of, the future is not so bright. So on that note,
Bleak.
thank you, Rubal, thank you, Vedic, thank you, everybody, once
Yes.
again. And I think the video would be uploaded in a couple of days on our Friends of Elephants YouTube channel. So we'll be back. I think we have an event next week itself, next Saturday, Sunday. So thank you, everybody. I'll just switch off, end the event now. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
David. See you soon.